there. Either way, you get the point. But you kind of expect teams like this to fail a little bit, and they've just already taken the next step. It's like everyone's expecting them to kind of walk over the Pacers too, if that's who they play in the finals.
Well, I think a lot of people, not exactly the way this happened, but I think a lot of people expected them to stumble a little bit here and there in the same way that the Cavs did.
Yeah.
Because their trajectory is very similar to the Cavs. You know, the Cavs won a bunch of games last year and then won even more this year. I think that they won 64 or something like that.
Yeah, I think they might actually won 62 this year.
Yeah.
The number I was looking.
No, they won 64.
Oh, 64.
Yeah, Boston won 61. And OKC won 68. Those are your only 360 win teams. And to be honest with you, those are the only 3 teams in the NBA that won more than 52. So there's this huge gap between the top 3 teams and then who was next. But OKC, I kind of felt it like right away, like, oh no, this is not one of those teams that's going to have to take time to get better, because they added the veterans that you kind of knew that they needed to add.
Because Caruso's not just some role player; he's been an defensive team type guy and all that over his career. So
yeah, and he's so good defensively. And the crazy thing is that he didn't make first or second team because Lou Dort made first team. No, Jalen Williams. Yeah, Lou Dort made first team. Jalen Williams made second team. So Caruso and Shai don't make all NBA defensive team because you can't have 4 of them on the squad. But realistically, they do. They have like 4 all NBA defenders, caliber defenders.
We're talking about the vet additions they made too. Like we mentioned, Sam Presti doesn't waste time. We saw last year they needed size, so you go and add Isaiah Hartenstein, and it's like boom, you got it right there. They're ready to go. Like there was no we're gonna wait or see what it is here.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing I'll say about that one too is they overpaid Hartenstein by a ton, but it doesn't matter. First of all, they had the money to spend because they have kept their cap flexibility really well. We talked about it the other day. They're for next season. They're at 172 million in dedicated salary, 13 players under contract. So Hartenstein's never going to get that $30 million contract again.
Yeah,
but that doesn't matter. He'll probably stick around and play the rest of his career there because he just made a whole bunch of money up front.
He'll likely be a champion.
Yeah, and I started something early before we got going. Casey Tucker in the chat said, he said OKC is going to be a force for the next few years until they have to start paying luxury tax on their stars. That defensive system and personnel are dominant. The weird thing, they're not going to have problems because the salary cap it's almost like Sam Presti. Like he built this team to succeed and then to be in the era where the salary cap jumps 10% every year because of the new television deal. So what they did is they chose, instead of the players union and the owners, they negotiated this instead of having just 1 year where the salary cap jumps like $40 million and a bunch of randos get all kinds of money. They decided to tier this thing so it goes up 10% every year. A smoothing of the cap is what they call it, right? What that means is that, it doesn't sound like that much, 10%, but when the salary cap's $155 million, that means it goes up 15.5 million. And then the next year it's going to go up, because it'll be at 180, 170, it'll go up 17 million. So as your team is getting better and as they're growing, when you sign your players to contract extensions, it's usually the most you can give them is an 8% raise. So while they're getting 8% raises, the NBA salary cap is jumping 10%.
Yeah.
Right?
So he's kind of planned this out, you're saying?
Yeah, it looks like he planned this out to when the television contract was going to hit, because we get a couple of years into this build and Hartenstein's big dollar money is going to fall off. You're going to have to pay Jalen Williams. You're going to have to pay Chet. But all of their role players are locked up on long-term reasonable deals, $8 million a year, $9 million, 10, 11. They're all reasonable deals. And when you're looking at percentage of the salary cap, like in 2 years, a $10 million contract is going to be like 5.5% of the salary cap. So you've managed this thing so incredibly well. I don't think they're going to run into a problem. They might have a player who steps up and is just way better than they thought, right?
Well, yeah, you can see Chet taking a jump or whoever.
Well, no, because you're already expecting Chet and you're already expecting Williams.
You're talking about one of the role players.
And you're talking about, and then you have Shai. The rest of them, they're going to be, right around 10 to $15 million players from here on out.
Well, what do you think they'd pay Chet? Like, do you think they'd pay him like he gets a max, right?
He's close. He's close
Okay.
to max money.
Because I wonder, like, if they're looking to pay him maybe a little bit less than the max, is maybe he just hasn't jumped out to what he was expected to be as a number 2 pick, but someone else in the league is willing to pay him however much. Like, I wonder if that's a way you lose guys.
No, it's possible,
Yeah.
but I don't think they're going to. So, because I think what's going to happen is the moment that Chet's contract kicks in, Harkenstein's going to drop.
I got you.
And again, Harkenstein's not getting that money again. He might be a guy who signs at 345 as opposed to the 30 million he's getting this year and last year, like that giant, well, this year and next year, those giant numbers. That's not going to continue, but they were able to do that because of where they were financially. They were able to just grossly overpay for like a middle of the road role player, but a guy who fits their system perfectly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's really it's fun to watch a team that just like figured it out. I think they're going to be great for a long time, and it kind of brings us back to the discussion that we're aiming to have. It's that it's all predicated on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander becoming great, and to be honest with you, I don't know why it is that we overlook OKC as the spectacular great team that they are, and why we overlook Shai, because even like in our discussions about who's going to win the MVP, the discussion kept coming back to this point that, again, Jokic is a 3-time MVP, should be a 4-time MVP, and he just posted a triple-double. He averaged a triple-double for the season. And it's like, well, Shai's going to win the MVP because he's, the best player on the best team. He's leading the league in scoring. Jokic is still the better player, but Shai is, he's going to win the MVP this year because everyone's they've got Jokic, they're over it, right?
Yeah.
Like there has to be a moment here where, like, as people who talk about sports on the radio or people who write about sports or talk about sports on social media, we have to acknowledge that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is probably the best basketball player in the world right now.
Okay, you say that, but like, do team situations matter though? Because like, if you were to flip Jokic and Shai and make the rosters work, then it's like Jokic is like, I don't know. I guess it's the context of it all. Because I don't nearly disagree. If we want to call Shai the best player in the league right now, because he won MVP, average 30 a game, and all that, team's about to win the finals. Like, I wouldn't even fight you, but I do get the other side where it's like, if you do want to argue, it's still Jokic is like, I mean, Jokic probably did as much as he could with not like Michael Porter Jr. looked like it was ready, his shoulder was ready to fall off his arm and all that.
Okay, but we have to acknowledge the fact that they won 18 more games than Jokic's team in the regular season.
And I don't nearly disagree, but I do see like the other side where it's like, well, if we still hold on to Jokic.
Okay, so once we get past Shai, right, their next best player is Jalen Williams at 21.6, which is, if I'm not mistaken, it's right around almost spot on what Jamal Murray averaged, right?
Yeah.
Then we get past that, and the next leading scorer is Chet Holmgren at 15 points per game. So he's in the Aaron Gordon range, but not in the Michael Porter Jr. range, who averaged more. So, like, I don't know. Like, we can't say, like, if you put De'Aaron Fox on the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're not winning 68 games.
Yeah.
If you take Jaylen Brown and put him on the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're not winning 68 games. Jason Tatum, not going to happen. Like, Luka, not going to happen. I don't think.
But you're saying if Tatum and like Luka are on this Thunder team replacement SGA, they're not winning 68?
Yep.
James, I don't know. Like, I thought I was gonna agree with you going into it before the show, but it's like a guy like Jokic is an all-time great. Could, when it's all said and done, be like one of the 10 greatest players of all time. And it's like,
I agree.
We're willing to call Shai better than him right now.
Shai's averaged over 30 a game 3 years in a row. He's one of the most consistent scorers we've ever seen in the NBA.
Yeah.
What did he scored 31 points last season, not this season, but last season. I think it was 31 on the dot. It was something like 39 times. It's just like astronomical how consistent he is. And we can not like the foul grifting. I hate to tell you, but James Harden, Luka Doncic, Trae Young, LeBron James, they're all foul grifters.
I got you. I'm pulling up Jokic's numbers right now. I mean, Jokic has been 26, 24 plus, excuse me. I don't want to cheat anyone since the 2020-21 season. Like, he's been doing it consistently as well. It's just, I mean, I can't. Your logic is right, and I completely understand. I get the fight that what you're trying to go for, but I can't. I don't know. I can't say that SGA is just better. Like, he's one of the 3 best players in the league. I can give you that.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. Like Polo L here in the chat, he says, the Thunder win 45 games without Shai.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna disagree. I think they win 38 games without Shai. Look at the team. Like, again, we can say like, oh man, they're really coming into their own in the playoffs, and Chet's averaging like 18 a game in the playoffs. But
you wouldn't have them better than this past year's Kings team, who won 40.
Take him off the roster.
No, yeah, I got you. It's still, you don't think Jalen Williams can maybe get you 23, 22 a game or 24 a game or whatever?
The only way it would work is if Jalen Williams averaged 35 a game and they found somebody else to average another 5 points a game. I don't see, like, again, look at, you're not getting more than 10 points a game out of Isaiah Joe. You're not getting more than 12 points a game out of Aaron Wiggins. You're not getting more than 11 out of Harkenstein, 10 out of Dort. Maybe you get 12 points out of Dort. Like, the depth of this team is so predicated on the greatness of Shai. That's where I'm at, man. I
got you. Like I said, your argument makes complete sense, but
this is a group of randos. Like, I'm not saying that it's...
Wait, who's a group of randos? The Thunder?
The Thunder.
No, I can't. You can't do that. Lou Dort has been, like, he's a great defender who's been, like, just, like, an all-defensive type defender, like, for a few years. Like, that's not randos. Like, those are guys who, like, all defensive teams. That's not randos.
Okay.
Isaiah Joe's a rando, but not, like, Caruso or any of those other guys.
But the rest of them, Caruso, so people know, Caruso averaged 7 points a game this season.
That's fine, but I guess you can't be an all-defensive type player over your career and be like, yeah, he's a rando. Like,
Casey Wallace in the rotation.
Second-year player, but it looks like he kind of could be something, right?
Averaged 8.4 points per game.
I'm
telling you, this...
You are indirectly disrespecting this Thunder team to prop up Shai. I won't let you do it.
This system works because Shai's there. We can keep go. You know,
we can go back and forth. Whatever. This is radio too, so we don't have to make sense as well. Like, this is sports. Whatever.
Let's fight about this after the break.
I got you.
We're gonna